we want to help you.
Plan the perfect Wizarding World vacation.
Hello, all of you wayfaring magical people. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Megan, and welcome to the introductory episode of our new show, Where in the Wizarding World.
Woo! How exciting! We're finally doing the thing. Here we go. Now, for all of you who don't know, which is probably a lot of you considering this is our introductory episode, Where in the Wizarding World is here to help you plan the perfect vacation to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter theme parks and other Harry Potter locations around the world. So be sure to subscribe or follow wherever you are watching or listening to our show, and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at WizardingPod.
And you can join us on Patreon for live streams, vacation planning guides, Discord hangouts, and much more. Just visit wizardingpod.com.
So, listener, with this introductory episode, we wanted to share with all of you, our listeners, our viewers, what our Harry Potter fandom story is and what we are most excited for coming up on Where in the Wizarding World. So, let's dive in. Megan, if I can just throw it over to you to start. Everybody probably knows you from your stunning Instagram account at Miss Wizarding World, where you give tips, tricks, and so much more on how to have the most magical vacation to the Wizarding World and beyond. So I'd love to know how you kind of found Harry Potter.
Yeah, so in fifth grade, my Scholastic Book Fair had Harry Potter bright front row and center on display. And so I used my AR points to purchase the book. Very curious. Read the first book and immediately hooked. The rest was history. So I grew up swimming. And so with the timing of the books, at swim meets, we would camp out at midnight before the releases. And so I kind of grew up with Harry, and that just kind of followed me through school. So as he was going through the story, I was going through the story, and the rest is history.
Oh my god, AR points, you just unlocked like a core childhood memory. That is rad. And so how did the Wizarding World of Harry Potter come into play? Like, when did you decide you not only wanted to be a fan who visits, but you also wanted to create a brand around the theme parks and other Harry Potter destinations?
Yeah, so I actually didn't visit the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in Orlando until I was an adult. Clayton planned this elaborate trip and ended up proposing the first day of our trip in Ollivanders. And so
Aw.
after that, I was just obsessed with going. It was a happy memory. It was a place that was super special to us. As I evolved in my nursing job, I found myself constantly booking a trip to escape, to get away, take a breather, to get through my job. And so I just wanted to create a page to kind of help people not think that they have to wait for somebody to be able to take off work at the same time. So feeling confident about going solo, how to do it on a budget. And yeah, just kind of helping people navigate the parks without spending an insane amount of money. So, Tyler, how did you come across Harry Potter?
Yeah, it was the year 2000, which feels like ages ago, but it was, yeah, 2000 when my teacher came in. I was in third grade, and she was like, guys, I have this great story that we're all going to read together. It's really taken the world by storm. And I was like, yeah, sure. Okay, great. And sure enough, she started reading it to us, and I absolutely fell in love. There was something about the story and Harry's journey and the fact that there was magic just right around the corner that excited me, and I became obsessed with Harry Potter. I've always been known ever since then as the Harry Potter kid for one reason or another. And it just, I don't know, it just was so magical. And I had a bunch of, like family drama when I was younger that made it really hard for me to make friends and to go outside and those kind of things. And so having Harry Potter really allowed me to escape the four walls of my bedroom and go on adventures with Harry, Ron, and Hermione and go to a magical world like Hogwarts. And so there was just something that captivated me from the beginning. And like you said, the rest has been history.
Oh my god, I love that so much. So, what made you decide to take the Wizarding World of Harry Potter and make that into, your activism and page, and how to like share tips and tricks with other people as well?
I know it might sound weird to people who have, been following me for a long time, because I'm known for, like you said, I'm known for my activism. I'm known for the animal rights work that I do. And it might be like, Tyler, why are you starting a thing with about theme parks? Like, how random. But as anybody who's worked in nonprofits knows, you are constantly wearing multiple hats. It's usually a high stress job. The pay isn't always the best. And so I needed a time to unwind. I needed
Mhm.
space to, for my own mental health, to like not get burnt out. That's something that I always tell activists is, don't find a way to do something so you don't get burnt out. And for me, I was like, well, I've never been to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. I've always, like I said, been a huge Harry Potter fan, been known as the Harry Potter kid. And oftentimes a lot of people would just ask me, oh, you've probably been to the Wizarding World many times. And I'm like, sure haven't. And so finally I was like, okay, let's do this. And it started in 2016, and I would go from LA to Orlando, because Universal Studios Hollywood hadn't opened their
Mhm.
version of Hogsmeade yet. But I would go
Yeah.
once a quarter. Every 3 months I would fly to Orlando, spend at least 3-4 days just going to Wizarding World, and I just fell in love. It was something that I've always wanted to be immersed by. There's something about going to the Wizarding World, specifically when you're a Harry Potter fan, and just being able to live in that world and
Mhm.
feel like you're actually walking down Diagon Alley. And so I was like, okay, I've really come to love this space. I want to help other people make the most of what they can do here too, and make it more inclusive, to begin with. That's
Mhm.
one of the reasons
Yeah.
why I was so jazzed about when I was working at the Protego Foundation, our Accio vegan butterbeer campaign and stuff like that. So I want to spread the good word about the Wizarding World of Harry Potter and other Harry Potter destinations, so that we can continue to be fans who can live in this space. So that's that's me. That's why.
Yay.
So, Megan, you kind of already touched on this and alluded to it, but if there was one thing that you hope listeners get from our show, Where in the Wizarding World, what would it be?
Yeah, so I think it's just setting yourself up for success when you go, not having that FOMO that you're going to miss out on X experience or food or show or entertainment. Just having the tools and resources to know where things are in the park when they happen, how to kind of save time. If you're visiting during peak season, don't let that scare you from going. You can have a great time even if you're visiting, during spring break or Christmas, as long as you kind of do a little bit of research. Nothing like the mouse house, but just kind of just having a trip and enjoying it and not feeling stressed is the best way to kind of enjoy it and immerse yourself and truly have a great time, and do it on a budget and not come home and be like, oh my god, I spent XYZ, I can't believe this, like what are we going to do type of situation. So yeah, what about you?
I mean, yeah, I want to echo everything that you just said, because that's obviously something I just went on. My partner Danielle, we went to Walt Disney World for the very first time together. I had been many times before, but we went for the first time together, and we came back and we definitely had that. Oh my god, how much did we spend? Because again, I was working for a nonprofit. Like, I was able to always make my Wizarding World trips work on a budget, no issues. But
Hmm.
we went wild at Walt Disney World, and so I was like, okay, whoa, hold on, let's throw in maybe some of those techniques that I learned back in the day. But in addition to all that, I'm just really excited to provide unique insight into the different references found in the parks that reference certain things in the books and films. And I'm somebody who's credited as a fandom expert in Harry Potter. And so I want to use my expertise in the canon of the Wizarding World to share fun facts and trivia, and really give Potter fans, right? Because there are so many people who
Hmm.
can speak to like the theme park stuff. Like, and I'm so stoked on that. But there's something to be said about that small sign up in that top corner of Diagon Alley that is a reference, a quick throwaway line in one of the books. That's what I'm so jazzed about. I'm excited to be able to just
Hmm.
be able to like vomit all those fun facts on our listeners. That sounds so weird, but you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm excited about. Yeah. So Well, coming up, Megan and I will give you a sneak peek into who we have as guests coming on the show and what topics we will be covering. So stay tuned, and we will be right back on Where in the Wizarding World.
Yeah, so Tyler, coming onto the show, we have some exciting experts who are going to provide some great insight into planning the perfect vacation to the Wizarding World locations around the world. Who are you most excited to talk to?
There are so many guests who I'm excited to hear from, and I think that's something that I often find in projects that I do is I do these for selfish reasons, straight up. Like and it's mostly just like I just want to talk to these people who I admire, right? And obviously help our listeners and viewers. But there are so many people that I feel like we've done a great job of inviting onto the show, both Harry Potter super fans who are able to provide like the Potter fandom impact and insight, but also we are calling on some of the biggest theme park experts in the world who will be giving us the theme park industry know-how and behind the scenes tips on how to earn your OWLs on theme parking like an expert. I'm really excited to have all of them on. I think I'm most excited to talk to Molly from Mammoth Club, only because like she's an amazing human, but she's a theme park going guru, but she's also just a huge Harry Potter fan. Like everybody knows her from like the Disney stuff, right? And she's now started to like go out into and do more Wizarding World stuff, but she's just a huge nerd like us. So I think listeners are going to be able to get a lot of like fun theme park knowledge from her, but also while we're all nerding out together about Harry Potter. So I'm very excited about that. Who are you most excited to hear from?
So we have a great list of people coming on, but I think I'm most excited to talk to Mamta, also known as Geeklets. She actually lives in Hong Kong and recently planned this epic, I'm talking epic Harry Potter traveling tour. So she did some stuff in the UK and then she came over to the US and did, Harry Potter New York. She did Universal Orlando, the Wizarding World. She did Universal Studios Hollywood. And so just picking her brain and figuring out how she planned and how she executed everything to have such an amazing time, to do it on a budget, to do it alone as a female, is huge. Like that's just so sick to me. And
Yeah.
so I hope anything that, if anything, it just inspires somebody to maybe take that leap of faith and plan a small, chunk of her trip, but just to kind of hear her Hong Kong, that's her home park and how everything has changed. Like before she came, Diagon Alley wasn't here. So just kind of seeing that lens is going to be so, so sick.
Cool. I'm just so excited. I'm sorry. I'm just like now I'm venting or just like exploding. There, listener, we have so many cool people who are going to be on this show. So but Megan, we're going to have great guests on. Now let's talk about what topics we're most excited to chat about because we're going to be covering so many topics from the history of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter locations around the world to other locations like the studio tours and other Potter destinations. Why don't you give our listeners and viewers a teaser of some of the topics we'll be covering on the show?
All right, so this season we'll be doing a deep dive into the best times of year to visit the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, how many days you really need to enjoy both of the lands without feeling rushed, must-do experiences. There's something for everybody. So wands versus attractions versus shows. We'll be comparing Universal Orlando to Hollywood, which is super exciting. And then we'll be doing some comparisons between the different filming locations in the UK and a lot more.
I think I'm really excited for that comparisons video because I've been to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in Hollywood more than in Orlando, purely because, like I said, I used to live there, and so I would go 3 times a week, which like for people living in Orlando, that's not a lot, I know, but I would like just dip after work, and I have strong feelings that the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in at Universal Studios Hollywood is the better Hogsmeade. So we're gonna have to, yeah, right. I
Yeah.
tell people that, and they're like, "What?" So we're gonna have to get into that, Megan. That's yeah, all coming up.
That's the tea. Alrighty, friends, that's everything for our introductory episode to Where in the Wizarding World.
We have so many episodes coming up that will be full of tips and tricks to help you plan the most magical vacation to Wizarding World destinations around the world. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that like button, and let us know what topics you want us to cover down in the comments below.
And be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at WizardingPod. And for more exclusive content like live streams, Q&As, one-on-one vacation planning, and to hang out with us on Discord, join our Patreon at wizardingpod.com.
So wherever your magical adventures may take you,
We'll see you next time
on
on
Where
Where
in the
in
Wizarding
Wizarding World.
World.